There's a suggestion as well, and accepted in principle by the government, that the ADF, when it comes to things like natural disasters or responding to climate emergencies, that the ADF should be the last resort. But we saw in the floods, the ADF played a crucial role. So when the emergencies happen, we inevitably do turn to the ADF.
That's true. I mean, and so to be clear, when there are Australians who are in an emergency situation, the ADF will always be there to support, and no one is talking about changing that. Look, in truth, the ADF it's always been intended that it be a resource of last resort. It's just that as we have been seeing more and more climate-based natural disasters, flood and fire, we've been seeing a much greater call on the ADF's resources, and it has become kind of more routine. And really what is being observed by the DSR, and we very much agree with it as a government, is that we need to make sure that the objective here, or the idea was always that the ADF be the last call to be made, not the first, and that we need to work much more, I think, with our states and territories around bolstering their resilience so that they can respond in the first instance to as much of what comes from these disasters as possible.
I know that when in opposition, Mr Albanese did have a crack at the former government for not getting, and I think you did as well, not getting the ADF in sooner for the floods. My sources in that former government have told me that they wanted to get the resources in, but the ADF wasn't up to it. Are our humanitarian and emergency capabilities there?
Oh, well, firstly, the ADF is hugely capable, and it does have capabilities that it can bring to bear here.
So you're comfortable with where it's at on that front?
I mean, I come back to what I said at the start. Like, if people are in an emergency and there is a capability that only the ADF has, it will always be there to provide assistance. And that's how it's always meant to be, and that's what we see happening in the future, and that's what the DSR is saying. But the point the DSR is making is that it does need to be the last call that's made, not the first. And if there are responses that can occur or need to occur in response to a natural disaster that can be done by other agencies, by other entities, by building more robust and resilient responses from the states, well, then we need to focus on that. Because if we don't, given the changing frequency of flood and fire, we're going to find a whole lot of our capability is taken up in this. And the point here is that the ADF is a unique capability in terms of being able to defend our nation and give expression to those 5 elements of the mission that was recast for it today. No one else can do that. Other entities can provide assistance during natural disasters. Sure, there are some unique capabilities that Defence have, and they'll always be there when that last call needs to be made, but let's make it the last call.